Deepwater just had a special screening in Dallas as part of the USA Film Festival. What made Dallas a great location to help introduce the film? And additionally, how does Dallas fit into your own personal and creative journeys, whether through ventures like Rock and Brews or simply as a city you enjoy kicking it in?
If you're talking strictly about the launch of a motion picture, that's a separate sort of expertise. Uh, and, you just fly by the seat of your own pants. Dallas is a media city. There's New York, there's LA. Right now, we're in LA doing that stuff. This is all after the fact. But the real story here is how did this magical thing that started with a blank piece of paper and those first words that went on by a lonely screenwriter someplace alone with nobody else, once upon a time, that magic that happens that then grows and attracts creative people, cinematographers and art directors and so on. And then eventually, the great actors, Sir Ben Kingsley, Academy Award winner, Aaron Eckhart, the money people get excited. Everybody starts, and I want to get attached because I want to be around when the big stuff launches. And then the first question the Academy Award winning actor asks is, who's going to direct this film? And that's the magic of this because he's not going to be on a film that some schmecklehead is going to direct. Renny Harlin, I'm in. And
Mhm.
this is a director's medium, unlike any other form of art. This is the director's in charge and has the enormous responsibility of overseeing special effects, the art direction, the cinematography, the editing, everything else, and the performance of all the actors. It's an enormous amount of work.
Yeah. What about you, Rennie?
I'm speechless. I don't know what else to say because he speaks so kindly of me.
Yeah.
But yeah, making a movie like this was a kind of a childhood dream for me. Having grown up with the '70s disaster movies, like the Poseidon Adventure, for example, I felt like telling a story like this where it's, of course, there's a big plane crash and there are sharks and all that type of visual smorgasbord, but it's really about the characters. It's really about the people who are in the center of it, and that to me was the most interesting thing. And big part of that is in casting. It's finding the right actors to play the right parts, and that way when you then finally, this has been an over 3 year journey for us, and now we finally have seen, actually witnessed the movie in the presence of an audience a couple of times, and seeing that they react in the right places. They laugh, they applaud, they scream, they cry in the places that we intended to. That is the greatest satisfaction.
Yeah. There's a great exchange in the film between Aaron Eckhart's character and a young girl named Cora, where it's said that sometimes in life you got to take a few detours to get where you're going. At this point, with all that you both have accomplished, are there aspects of your creative life that are still in the detour phases that you are still hoping will get in direct flight soon?
Uh, Life is short. If you're blessed, you get to do some of the stuff that you're passionate about. I'm the luckiest guy who's ever walked the face of the planet. Every day above ground is a good day, as my dear mother used to say, and I've never had a bad day in my life. I'm so fortunate to be sitting next to Rennie Harlan to be involved in this motion picture, and I urge everybody not only go see it May 1st across North America. It's playing in your local movie theater, but I urge you and strongly recommend you don't go see it alone. You've seen the movie, you know what I mean. This is one of those where you want to get somebody next to you to feel the feel and laugh at the same time and do that. It's not an art house film where you go, huh, I wonder what that means. The hell with that stuff. This is a movie for America.
Okay, beautifully said. And it was such an interesting question that you just asked that I really wish that I could give you a smart answer. And all I can say is that in a certain way, I feel strangely like I'm about to get emotional when I answer this. Maybe I've lost my mind, but I in a certain way, I've always had a very high work moral. I've worked very hard all my life and done my best in what I do. But in a certain way, I feel like 5 years ago, I realized that my entire life, in a way, had been a detour, and
Mm.
uh, and that what made me realize that was that I met my wife, and I fell in love, and we got married, and now we have 3 kids. Maybe I'm a basket case because I haven't slept at all, but we just had our third child 5 days ago,
Oh
and
wow, congrats.
thank you, and so when you asked that question, I really wanted to think about that, and my answer is, in a way, I feel like my whole life was a detour, and now I've arrived where I wanted to arrive with my wife and with my family, and now I'm where I belong.